This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
Okay, hey Mike.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm okay. How's that congestion tax going over?
Yeah, right. Well, I use Kleenex, and some people use NyQuil, but we're surviving it.
Right.
Hi, Michael. This is Doug DePiero, Dick Morris's guy.
Hi,
Okay.
Doug.
Okay, Mike, so New York City subway, a model of urban engineering, has devolved into an emblem of chaos, violence, and fear. Headlines detailing the stabbing of a man in Queens, the setting aflame of a woman in Brooklyn, and the horrifying New Year's Eve assault where a man was shoved onto the tracks have become unsettlingly common. With felony assaults up 55% since 2019 and 10 subway murders alone in 24, it's no exaggeration to say the system has become a crucible of peril. So, despite well-intentioned efforts by city officials, including increased police presence, outreach teams, and even National Guard patrols, violence persists unabated. Faced with this alarming trend, the time-tested broken windows theory emerges as the most logical and practical solution. Take it from there, Mike.
Well, friend, I think that you've witnessed something that I couldn't have imagined even 5 or 10 years ago, which is the total abandonment of any sane, safe transportation as New York City subways. I started riding New York City subways in 1963. I was 9 years old. I rode them alone at 9.
Yeah.
Many young people rode them alone at 9. Today, the thought of allowing a 9-year-old in a subway alone, it's impossible. So, there was one theory during the last 30 years that seemed to create a system of safety and security in New York City. That was called the broken windows theory. I wrote a book about it, and it is that minor infractions must be confronted immediately, or they propel into much, much greater problems, and that is what we've seen. Now we're at a place where it is so dire. No one in their right mind rides the subways in New York City unless they have to, right? And many people have to. But it is unthinkable what's become of New York, and of course I blame more the voters than I do the governor or the mayor. We get, you know this better than anyone, Dick. You're the smartest guy in politics by far. We get the government we vote for. Elections do indeed have consequences. The members of my hometown, the society, voted for Mr. de Blasio not once but twice. Now, you can make a mistake once. It's unbelievable. They must have suicidal instincts. Yeah. So if this is the city they want, if this is the way they want to live, then keep voting the way they have been voting. I don't know what else to say. It's
Mike,
unsustainable.
Did Rudy pick up that system from you, or did you hear it from him? Because he used the broken window theory.
Neither. He picked it up from a criminologist named James Q. Wilson and George Kelling, who wrote it back in August of 1982. It actually was written by the UCLA professors at the time in Los Angeles, and Giuliani and Bratton adopted
and it worked. It worked well.
It didn't work well. It worked miraculously.
Yeah, right.
It worked miraculously in about 4 weeks. You remember squeegee men, my friend?
Yes,
remember
I
the
do.
Squeegee men, where you would park in Midtown Manhattan in broad daylight. 10 menacing men would jump on your car and then respectfully ask for a gratuity. Do you
and
remember
stand
that?
in front of your car, wouldn't let you move until you gave them.
Correct.
Right, the Willis Avenue Bridge, right by the McDonald's, they used to stop all the time. Not for me. They looked at me and they went the other way. But
I understand.
you know what happened with that was Hillary and Al Sharpton put the kibosh to that for other reasons in Harlem when they would stop people at midnight. That's what happened with that.
You had Rudy Giuliani and Mike Bloomberg had stop and frisk, and the city seemed to work fairly well. The crime wasn't. It is so common now that there's crime in subways in New York. I feel like if in January no one is burnt alive on a subway, they will have a press conference announcing the great job they've done. It's just unbelievable.
Oh my God.
It replaces central heating.
yeah.
That's horrible. And I ride the subway. I used to ride it all the time.
Yeah.
So it really is time to revive the broken window theory. And
it is in my mind. It's also time to revive common sense and the first principles of government. Protect your citizens. I mean, my God almighty, why this shouldn't be clear to anyone over the age of 10 is beyond me.
Just common sense.
And these two policies, they both can be attached with the same label: the broken windows theory, and the theory about making sure that you catch repeat criminals.
Stop and
Just
of
by
course.
stop and frisk. Stop and frisk and broken windows.
That was
were
Ray
the
Kelly,
solution to
right?
crimes
Right.
in New York City, and we need to bring both of those back. Stop and frisk was killed by the courts because it wasn't done well, and you could do it in a way where it would be legal and constitutional and not found to be racist. But after a policy was designed by Rudy and by Mayor Bloomberg that passed that test, the court threw it out. And then the new administration of de Blasio had no interest in making it work, so they didn't make any of the changes the court recommended, and the process was completely dropped.
That's why they get voted in. The people that want it, that don't want to be
That's why crime has increased so in New York.
The criminals were voting them in.
So those two proposals, broken windows and
Stop and
frisk, were absolutely the solution to crime. And then the crime problem got unsolved because of the politicians and the courts.
Wasn't that big with Ray Kelly? Stop and frisk.
Yeah, very big. Very big. And it looked like stop and frisk might be coming back because Mayor Adams in his campaign talked about that, but nobody had the guts to do it.
That's exactly right, Dick. You've hit on it. The society, New York City society, no longer has either the will or the capacity. Remember, when Rudy Giuliani was mayor, there were 40,000 New York City police officers. Today, that number is down to 33,000, and it's diminishing each year. The truth is, the city doesn't have the will or the capacity, right, to do what is necessary to regain the safety and security of the New York City subways.
The city doesn't have enough Republicans. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and listen, Republicans have a far better record on this, but they're not without fault. I mean, to go. It's outrageous. It's outrageous, and the citizens are more to blame than everyone sits around and complains about the governor and mayor. I want to talk about the citizens that continue to vote for these imbeciles who have suicidal urges for a society. I don't know what else to say.
Their suicidal urges are fine. It's the homicidal ones that I don't like.
Yeah.
We need more people like Rudy. That's what we need. I don't know who the next mayor. What, Curtis, maybe, or
Well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate you coming on and reminding us of this policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
It's great.